Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I have been eating a meat-only carnivore diet for over 4 years now, which is crazy. This was not my intention to eat only meat. I started out doing keto because I needed to lose weight. My husband was type 2 diabetic. We knew we couldn't handle carbs and sugar for our blood sugar and for weight loss. And I had no idea that going full carnivore was going to be the answer to all of my digestion and bloating issues. If you want to hear about constipation and other types of very graphic digestive issues, you can go check out my video that's on that. But in this video, I want to talk about the 3 things that I had to cut out from keto to help reduce bloating. I didn't realize this, but I recently, actually, side note, yes, I have loose skin. I lost 120 pounds very quickly and I have kept it off. I've done fasting. I've done all the things you're supposed to do in order to reduce the loose skin. It's just not happening. I have enough loose skin that without surgery, it's not going to go anywhere. And so I did a consult recently for a tummy tuck, which is another video. We're maybe going to do that in the future. It kind of depends on the cost and schedule and all the things. But during that consultation, I had a surgeon tell me that I had a pretty massive ab separation, which happens to a lot of women when they have pregnancies, like multiple pregnancies. Also, it happened to me because my belly was just so large. So yeah, I had 2 pregnancies, but my big protruding belly was big enough to cause more separation. So this diastasis recti, I think is how you pronounce it, muscle separation. One of the things that happens is that when you eat foods that would make you bloated, so normal person might eat something, they feel a little bloated, they get a little gassy, they got like a little baby pooch sticking out. Well, I have enough ab separation, and people that have this ab separation get even more bloated because my abs can expand even farther. So when I eat certain foods, non-carnivore foods mainly, the 3 that I'm gonna get into in a second, and then also if it was like regular food, God forbid, I get like this instant protruding belly. I look like I'm 7 months pregnant. And a lot of that is because there's just so much room for these abs to expand. Everything gets like really big and tight, and literally you could like rock your fingers on it. It's like super hard as a rock, bloated belly. And it wasn't until cutting out those foods, keto was helpful. I lost some weight doing keto. It was great. It was a fine starting place for me. But it wasn't until I made the switch to full carnivore that I was able to get rid of some of those bloating and digestive issues that I was still having on keto. And so that in combination with just being able to maintain a healthy weight is why I see myself being on a meat-based diet more long-term. I can't go back to carbs and sugar and fruit because mentally I can't moderate those things. They just mess with my mind too much. That causes me too many issues mentally. I overeat them. I will never be able to just have 1 bite of something sweet and then actually stop eating it. It's gonna completely cause me to go off the rails. So that's why I can't handle the carbs and the sugar and the fruits. But then other things that I'm gonna get into now are the ones that cause me digestive issues and bloating and acne and all those things that make me not feel great. Which is why if you wanna eat vegetables and be carnivore, ketovore, somewhere in between, go for it. But if you don't feel good, maybe try cutting out the vegetables and cutting out some of these other things I'm gonna mention and see if that helps you. So here we go. Before we get started, I wanna mention that this video is sponsored, of course, by Element, an electrolyte supplement packet, which is so convenient. It is perfectly formulated for people who are on a keto or carnivore diet. It's made by people who believe in these paleo low-carb diets, so it has the magnesium, potassium, sodium that you need in perfect ratios in these cute little packets. They have 8 different flavors, all seasoned with stevia. I like to use the unflavored version. If you don't want it to taste a little bit salty, you can try a flavored version. My kids and husband love the chocolate salt. There's orange, citrus, habanero, mango. In these convenient little packets, you can pour one in your water and it's good to go. It gives you all the electrolytes that you need when you're not eating carbs or when you're sweating and using that energy. Element has a deal for all my subscribers. If you go to drinkelement.com/LAURAESPATH, you can get one of these sample packets for free with any order that lets you try all 8 of their flavors and decide which one you like best. That's drinklmnt.com/LAURAESPATH. Okay, let's get to the video. The first food that I cannot tolerate on a keto diet, which is one of the major reasons why I went carnivore, is lettuce. If you can believe it, lettuce instantly causes me to bloat up and have that protruding belly. Let's talk, I mean, vegetables in general, let's be real, but lettuce is the one that helped me realize that this was a problem. My husband was cooking for us. I had gone basically full carnivore for about a week just because that's what we were happening to have. And then on Friday, I had a big bowl of lettuce, ground beef, taco seasoning, sour cream and cheese. Literally the only thing that I added to my carnivore diet was a bunch of lettuce. And instantly I had a massive bloated protruding belly. I had stomach cramps, digestive issues, and it took like a full 24 hours for all of that to be relieved and for me to feel better. And so now that was like a huge moment for me, realizing that there are some vegetables and foods that I had always considered healthy, or at least lettuce. There's nothing wrong. Like, lettuce is basically water. It's nothing. Why is it causing me issues? And that was a huge light bulb moment for me. And I hear so many stories after stories of people talking about raw vegetables, Brussels sprouts, all of these things that we might like. I love a good Brussels sprout, but my body cannot tolerate it. And so cutting out the lettuce, all the vegetables, made a huge difference for me when it came to weight loss, digestion, and just overall feeling better, no bloat whatsoever. Now I can eat a big giant steak and have no bloating afterwards as long as I stay away from vegetables and lettuce. Food number 2. This was the hardest one for me to give up, and that is nuts. Peanuts, I know, are not a nut, they're a legume, but I can't have those either. Macadamia nuts, all of those things caused me so much inflammation, bloating, digestive issues. If I were to have, I went through like a peanut butter phase in 2020. We all were staying home for too long. I was taking a spoonful of peanut butter here and there just to try to like deal with the stress of the world at the time. And that one spoonful turned into 2, turned into 4, turned into half a jar. And that is what my body looks like after I've been eating too much peanut butter. Rock hard, 7-month pregnant looking belly. And that one, the lettuce belly might go away in 24 hours. The peanut, macadamia nut belly takes me a full week almost to get all the way back to being normal again. I have to not only get it out of my system, the digestive issues, the bloat, but then also just all of the inflammation that my body holds, and then followed about a week later by a full massive breakout on my skin from having all of those nuts. And it doesn't matter for me if it's almonds, macadamia nuts, peanuts, all of them. I react physically the same to it. My skin reacts the same. Terrible. If you are struggling with digestive issues, inflammation, acne of any kind, overeating them in general, cut out the nuts. I promise you it will make a huge difference. And the third food that I had to absolutely cut out to stop the bloat was Keto Treats. This was a sad one. I grieve for this one, to be honest, because for a while, a replacement food from having actual cupcakes and having actual chocolate was having some kind of low carb version of it. But over time, I realized not only could I not moderate those things, but because then I would eat a full bar of Lily's chocolate in one sitting, then all of a sudden I would get super bloated afterwards. And it's the erythritols and a lot of those sweeteners that are used in keto chocolates that really caused me issue. It's the amount of them. Not only that, but then some of those keto treats are combined with almond flours and coconut flours and the different fibers that they add to try to get the net carbs low. Massive issues for me. So it's kind of all of those things wrapped up into one. If you're eating some type of keto replacement food, then be aware I get a lot of bloat and digestive issues from something like that. So if you're having issues, if you can have a little tiny square of chocolate and it's not causing you issues afterwards, great, enjoy it. I'm not trying to take that away from you. But if you're like me and you're gonna eat a whole bar in one sitting, it's gonna cause you to completely swell up, your face swell, my fingers swell, my stomach swells, and I have major issues for several days afterwards. It's really just not worth it anymore. Even for my kids, I kind of go back and forth between giving them low carb replacements for foods and then also just giving them more like whole food things, because sometimes those keto treats and a lot of those keto foods have so many different ingredients in them that I'd rather just they have a regular tortilla instead of a low carb tortilla, just because it gives them way less ingredients and junk in it anyway. So yeah, there you go. That's the video. 3 things. Let me know for you guys what foods cause you bloating issues, what foods you just not keep in anymore because they don't make you feel good. I'm just curious, if you're doing keto, what other things can you include? I know things like asparagus don't bother a lot of people, so if you want to include certain things, we know I'm scandalous and I include some pickles occasionally because those don't bother me. I think that all of this way of eating is finding ways that you can live a long-term, healthy, happy life and not be worried about necessarily following any rules that somebody has set for you, but just figuring out what works for you, and include things that you enjoy, that give you some variety if you like it, but let's not try to force things that are making us feel bad, because trust me, health-wise, you're gonna be fine without some lettuce and the vegetables. You don't need them. Feel free to enjoy them if they make you feel good, but you certainly don't need them. And there's a lot of people who've been eating this way long-term who can prove that for your health, it's just not necessary. You can get all the nutrients that you need from meat. So I hope you are enjoying what you are eating. I certainly am. And I hope this video was helpful. For more exclusive content, behind the scenes, early access to videos, I do weekly live streams. You can come check out my locals. Any other information down below, including the Element link, check that out in the description. Thanks for hanging out.